Alright guys, again, didn't want to make this video. I actually wanted to give the Mormon shit a break, okay? Because I just talked to a very nice Mormon today, and the guy was such good faith. But apparently, um, the stupidity just keeps going. See, like every Mormon nest that I stir ends up being a big bloody nest, okay, of just idiocy. So now today we're going to talk about this guy, since he's already made himself public, right? Mr. L.J. SOURman, okay, this freshman philosopher at BYU University. Now, those of you who know the debate I had with the Mormon philosopher, this is the guy. And notice how I never said it's him. I've always referred to them as the Mormon philosopher. Nobody knows him. But this idiot went on my channel and said, the weirdo recorded me without telling me and then posted it without my consent. Well, first of all, you're in Utah. That is a one-party consent state. Two, you're on Facebook, a public forum. So I don't know what you're complaining about. And I replied to him, literally no one knows it's you until you voluntarily identified yourself. This is how stupid they are. Now, the initial story was that he reached out to me. He and his 22 years old Mormon scholar friend Noah Airhead, who's also an idiot, and these two guys, he believes Athanasius is a Mormon. Okay, and the other kid, so they're doing the quote mining church father shit to think that basically they think all the church fathers are Mormons. Okay. That's how stupid they are. So they challenged me to an icon debate. I was like, well, there's no point for me doing that because, one, you just want to take a jab and I can't criticize your position at all. And so, and I'm not going to allow you to just quote mine church fathers. It's not granted to you. They're not your church fathers. You don't get to reinterpret them. I'm not going to Joseph Smith and reinterpreting Joseph Smith. So we had a conversation. I went into a semi-debate. And just to show how good faith I am, I introduced Jimbob to him, and I put him in Jimbob's Discord, which he's absolutely silent on. And I told him that I will get Jimbob, who is a big Orthodox YouTuber, to debate you, if you want clout. And he loved it in the comment sections. And look, I mean, just to prove it to you guys, right? So I don't BS this sort of stuff. Here is L.J. SOURman. Actually, it's not. Yeah, well, whatever. It can't show on Facebook. So I'm gonna have to show that on my phone sometimes. But I told him, will you be able to debate a really big Orthodox YouTuber? He said yes. So then I messaged Jim Bob, and then Jim looked at it, and it literally featured this clip on the show. Okay, and he responded by running from the debate. Literally, look, would you be willing to do a formal debate on the Trinity sometimes? Well, first of all, Jim Bob is not going to grant you that, idiot, because you're outside of the church. You're already a heretic who don't have any justification for your position. So he's not going to let you challenge his position when you can't justify yours. Jim Bob says, I would host it. The Trinity is a nuance, and I would say, advanced topic to debate. I would debate whether or not Mormonism is coherent. However, with you taking the affirmative. Okay, that's really fair. Orthodoxy versus Mormonism. Okay? Topic may be interesting, but if you never heard of Blake Ostler, then no offense, you probably don't know enough about Mormonism to argue. So, to know whether Mormonism is coherent, we need to know about Blake Ostler. So, and by the way, this kid is studying philosophy. I mean, this is the tier. Look at this. From what I've seen of you, you don't know enough about it. We would start simple with Book of Mormon. So what does Book of Mormon has to do with if your religion as a whole, your paradigm, is coherent or not? It has nothing to do with that. This is like the failure in logic of these idiots. I mean, look. Let's just look at this, okay? And there's some Mormons barking. Sure, you hold the view that God the Father was a man, and you hold the view that God the Father is divine, and the divinity is human, is humanity realized. You also hold that matter is eternally uncreated. These various propositions are all I need. I mean, Uh, well, and from the debate I had with him, which we can go look at, did he not say that? If man and God has the same ontology, which is what he said, word by word, then God the Father was a man. And he said it multiple times, matter is eternally uncreated. So is your intelligence. He said it. And now let's see what this dumbass says. You've not pointed out a contradiction. Okay, well, this is just another idiot. But let's see what he says. I fail to see the internal contradiction. There's no contradiction of your mind being both infinite and finite at the same time. This is how stupid this guy is. You don't see an internal contradiction in your mind being finite and infinite at the same time. Unlimited and limited at the same time. You don't see how retarded that is. People think I was arguing against body versus mind in the debate. No. I'm arguing against him thinking that in the same criteria, he thinks that you can be finite and infinite. There are words such as true and untrue, truth or false. That's absolute. The nature of the word is absolute, bro. If it's true, it can't be untrue by any bit, because any bit of untrue would disqualify it being true. If your mind is limited, it cannot be unlimited. Any sort of limitation on unlimited means it's limited. Stupid. Same thing with finite and infinite. You cannot have an infinite mind that can be limited to finite. This stupid idiot. I fail to see the internal contradiction. And obviously I can see why you disagree, but Mormonism is internally coherent. Okay, yeah, Here's Kyle Hansen. What is the eternal law of Mormonism? And please explain how it is material in nature. Exactly. I mean, he can't. This is the same critique I gave. Exact same critique I gave. And Jimbob says, no, it's not internally coherent. You believe God the Father is divine, but you also think he was a human. That's incoherent. Yeah, of course it is. It's not the fact that God the Father is divine and he was a human that's contradicting. Is God the Father, since he's divine, he's infinite. If he's infinite, how can he be reduced to a finite being? He's both infinite and finite by the same criteria. That is contradicting, idiot. It's not that these idiots actually thought that I'm arguing that the body is finite and the mind is infinite. That's a contradiction. That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You agree that God is on the same ontology as humans. So God is both divine and finite. That is the same criteria. It is a contradiction. This is how stupid these people are. And of course, no more replies, right? So I mean, they think I'm bad faith. This is how stupid. Like, if I'm bad faith, why would I put you on in contact with Jimbob? Literally the biggest Orthodox, one of the biggest Orthodox guys on the internet. Obviously, I would like to see you being destroyed. Yeah, you know what? Kind of bad faith, but I would love to see you getting destroyed. But I also introduce you, which, I mean, this is what you wanted. You wanted clout. You wanted to do the stupid icon debate, which is clout. You want the clout. Well, yeah, so that it's literally not bad faith. You want the clout. I'm getting you the clout. I'm getting Jimbob, who is always happy to deal with idiots, to debate you. And then what are you doing? You're running. You're like, oh, you don't know Blake Ostler. So you don't know the subject. What the hell logic is that? So all the Mormons who don't know Blake Ostler don't know enough about Mormonism. This is how, like, he said it. Look. If you never heard of Blake Ostler, then no offense, you probably don't know enough about Mormonism. So we need to know, we need to heard about or know about Blake Ostler to know enough about Mormonism. So, and all the Mormons who don't know Blake Ostler don't know enough about Mormonism. This is how stupid this guy is. That's all I have for y'all. And I think we're done with this guy at this point. He's not going to debate. His friend is a coward, and it's funny how his friend is the one challenging, and he doesn't have the balls to actually message me or anybody that they want to challenge. It's through this guy who's an idiot going around being exposed like an idiot. Absolutely stupid, man. They will not debate. Like, I don't think they will. This is like, I mean, come on. I mean, even this guy, I don't know if this guy is Blake Ostler, but whoever this guy is, but he's already contradicting. If you guys watch Jimbob's video, okay? This guy's just running. No more. He hasn't responded for a whole day. And for those of you idiots are still going to say that no, it's not internally incoherent, go look at my video. I made a video talking about why it's stupid. You believe in two contradictory, two opposite things in one criteria: infinite mind and infinite mind, and infinite mind and finite mind, unlimited mind and limited mind at the same time. That is contradicting. This is how stupid these people are. But anyways, y'all have a good night.